much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Prominent lead presenter, eminent commentators, session chair, professionals, stakeholders, proficient academicians, national and international marine experts and researchers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. It's a matter of great privilege for me to welcome you all to today's meaningful dialogue on the theme Prospects of and Challenges of Ocean Shipping in Bangladesh, organized by BIMRAD. I am confident that this timely effort will bring a positive outcome and identify the challenges with prospects that need to be addressed immediately in this sector. Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I humbly pay my deepest tribute to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. I also pray for the salvation of the departed souls of persons who lost their lives in recent fire at a container yard in Chattogram. Bangladesh is a maritime nation with long tradition of contributing to the maritime sector. During the reign of Bengal Sultanate, Bengal was a major trading nation from the East Asia to Europe and African coast. It was also a regional maritime connectivity hub. Often, Bangladesh was referred by the Europeans as the richest country in this sector and had been known as a nation that made valuable contribution to the maritime sectors. At the beginning of 19th century, Chattogram produced vessels of different capacities used in the European waters. After the independence, the National Shipping Company, Bangladesh Shipping Corporation, BSC in short, was formed. Seafarers groomed within this country cheerfully joined the vessels with pride, which were important value-added components of the country's supply chain. But the state-owned shipping company, which started well, also faced difficulties surviving in the complex shipping business. Meanwhile, the government allowed the private sectors to invest in shipping, and the response was positive. Side by side, the private and public shipping companies were visible in the blue waters flying national ensign. Presently, BSC is expanding, and both the government and private sectors are contributing to the ocean shipping. Interestingly, ocean shipping is also linked with the ever-changing global political and economic landscape dynamics. As mentioned, the COVID pandemic has had an enormous impact on economies of the world. On the top of that, geopolitical turmoil centering around the recent Russian and Ukraine conflict has triggered uncertainties regarding the stability of the international ocean shipping and the recovery of the global economy. The impacts have already been felt in the financial markets, and consequently, the prices of the energy, metals, and food commodities have surged. In this regard, Bangladesh shipping industry has to venture through this ever-changing geopolitical and geoeconomic landscape more carefully than ever before. Proficient scholars and practitioners. Presently, as a maritime nation, Bangladesh's booming economic growth is largely dependent on the sea and its shipping sector. More than 2/3 of Bangladesh trade by volume is transported by ships of different sorts and sizes. Chattogram Port alone handles the overwhelming majority of the country's import and export, making it the prime port of Bangladesh. However, as per understanding, shipping is really a complex business involving dozens of stakeholders, where the brunt of the challenges are faced by the operators and owners of the platform. The shipping business constantly requires specialized and skilled seafarers with proper education and training on related subjects. Ladies and gentlemen, a good number of seafarers, academicians, and consultants are working at home and abroad with a reputation in this shipping sector. Bangladesh needs to ensure world-class facilities and capacities to support and influence this growing shipping sector and optimize its benefit. But still, there are so many laps and gaps in this sector. I strongly believe that BIMRAD will extend its research activities and provide support to the relevant stakeholders to identify challenges and explore the prospect regarding the shipping sector. I am confident that today's session hosted by BIMRAD would play a significant role in developing some guidelines with important findings to flourish the shipping sector of Bangladesh. I look forward to all concerned organizations, researchers, intellectuals, and maritime communities for their extended cooperation, support, and initiatives for making this institution a center of excellence for maritime community of the region. This morning, we have academicians, professionals, regulators, business leaders, operators, and other stakeholders of shipping among us. Would like to hear from them what are the prospects and challenges in this sector. What can we do to overcome such challenges? Eminent fellows, before I conclude, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to the lead presenter, commentators, and session chair for being present here despite their busy schedule. I also sincerely acknowledge the gracious presence of all distinguished guests and scholars. Finally, I would like to thank Chief of Naval Staff for his wholehearted support and active assistance in organizing this webinar and contributing to the sustainable development of maritime Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. Joy Bangla.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the foundation of today's dialogue has been laid already. At this stage, I would like to invite the session chair of today's dialogue, Rear Admiral Muhammad Anwarul Islam, to take over and conduct the entire session. Rear Admiral Muhammad Anwarul Islam, sir.
Thank you very much, DG BIMRAD. I think you can all hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Sir, yes, sir. You're loud and clear, sir.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Respected Chairman BIMRAD, DG BIMRAD, learned speakers, dear learned audiences, and professionals that are present here in the web, in this Zoom link, also in the Facebook live stream. Welcome to this session on the first ever, the first dialogue on maritime dialogue. I can say we named it on prospects and challenge of ocean shipping in Bangladesh. A very important subject, a very pertinent subject on the modern world, and the Chairman BIMRAD had rightly pointed out or laid the foundation of today's discussion. I'm sure we will have an excellent learning session. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let me take a few seconds to pay our tribute or our respect to all those who has lost their lives in the tragic event that still is going on in Sitagundu area. And it is going to be, or it has been probably one of the worst possible nightmare or accident that has taken place in the maritime domain of Bangladesh, in the maritime arena. Of course, it will have quite a long-lasting effect later on in inspection other regime. But I sincerely hope and pray that may Almighty Allah grant them Jannah as Shahada, as Shohada, as He has promised, and also those who are injured, and also the injured families, so that they can recover early. And from our maritime sectors, our wholehearted support and dua prayer for them. With these few words, may I just start with the background of, with the introduction of this seminar as I see it. Ladies and gentlemen, since the time immemorial, human beings are doing trade and commerce across the ocean with different destinations of the globe for prosperity. Being the cheapest means of transportation, sea is widely used for maritime trade and commerce. Seaport and shipping with various services has always played a major role in economic development of the countries around the world, from the ancient time, medieval time, present time, and also in future, inshallah. There's no doubt about it. Bangladesh is a maritime country, and seaports provide the gateway for a seaborne trade with outside world. All our seaports are playing vital role in accelerating the economic development of the country that the country is experiencing for last couple of years. But seaport infrastructure, maritime transportation facilities, the human resource conditions are not good enough to handle the growing demand of the trade in the foreseeable future. There are insignificant number of national flag carriers in particular, which could carry our own cargoes. As a result, our businessmen are chartering foreign flags, containers, vessels from international markets, and we are losing a huge amount of foreign currency that our expatriates sends us as a remittance, and which is creating an unbalanced situation in the economic arena. A sizable fleet with required infrastructure will create not only job opportunities, but most importantly, it will make us self-reliant. And evaluating the recent global maritime trade and security situation that we discussed in our last webinar dictates that most particularly the developing country like ours must be self-reliant. Of course, in respect to the maritime infrastructure and hinterland connectivity, we are seeing a great change. A number of mega projects are in progress, which definitely will have a major impact in very near future. And these are great sign, gives a great sign and great hope in the maritime community. On the other hand, however, despite having a better geographical position, navigability, scope of hinterland connectivity with the regional countries, and a favorable regulatory regime, we are yet to emerge as a sub-regional transshipment hub using the seaport due to inadequate port facilities, shipping cargoes, and few other factors that we will discuss today, inshallah, with our neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Northeast India, and maybe Yunnan province of China, and which can be a game changer for Bangladesh in respect to economic development through maritime trading service. That's what Dubai is doing, Singapore is doing, Kenya is doing, many countries are doing. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, efficient management of maritime trade and commerce, that is import and export, seaport and shipping with various services, can change the fate of a nation like ours, as it is like an ocean of opportunity, as it was mentioned by Admiral Shah Jahan, who is going to be the lead speaker today in his research paper of National Defense College, which I had the honor to go through. Dear audience, today we have a good number of experienced and learned commentators, and of course the floor also will remain open for quite good amount of time, inshallah, and the session will be starting very soon. And we have our lead presenter, Admiral Shah Jahan, Chairman Chittagong Port Authority, who will be speaking on the main subject for about 25 minutes or so. Thereafter, the commentators will get 5 minutes time each to make his comments or remarks or suggestions, and after that we'll have an interactive session, and we would like to conclude the session by 11:30, please. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, without me talking, let's bring in the real knowledge hub from Chittagong Port, the Admiral Shah Jahan, the Chairman, Chittagong Port Authority. But before he takes over, I just want to have one or two words about sentence about him. Admiral Shah Jahan, he took charge as the chairman of the Chittagong Port Authority, the main gateway of Bangladesh, on 31st January 2021. He is a graduate of NDC and the DSCSC Mirpur. And before joining Chittagong Port, he was also the chairman of Mangla Port Authority and member Harbour and Marine of Chittagong Port. And also before that, he was also Deputy Director General of Bangladesh Coast Guard under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So, and I didn't want to discuss about the smaller appointment that he had, but with this very short preload, I am sure he is the right person to speak on this very important subject. So, ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Shah Jahan, Chairman, Chittagong Port Authority. Admiral, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind introduction. And probably you have said much more than what I am. First of all, thank you very
You're automatically muted. Please unmute yourself.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you very much for a very lucid introduction. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to speak before this August gathering and on a very important and pertinent topic of the day, the prospect and challenges of ocean shipping in Bangladesh. As we all know, the Bangladesh is a maritime nation, and the founder of this maritime nation is our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. That's why on the very outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and tribute to the father of the nation and his family member, those who died on 15 August, and also the freedom fighters, those who sacrificed their lives during our liberation war, and those mother and sister, those who has lost their valuable sacrifice during the liberation war. So first of all, I would like to thank also the BIMRAD for arranging such an important webinar on a pertinent topic like this. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to speak about the subject what already said on the screen, and the foundation was laid by the chairman of BIMRAD, and I am not going to talk about many things about the literature aspect. I will be just going on to the realities of port and shipping of Bangladesh and also the global prospect. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, 80% of the maritime global trade is through the seaborne transportation, that is through our shipping, and the rest is by the other means of transportation, by road and railway or any other, by airways, etc., etc. So to go on to this particular topic, what the things I'll be following. First of all, I'll see what is the global trend, then what is the existing shipping condition, port and shipping condition of Bangladesh, and what are the challenges we are facing in this particular sector, and what prospect we have. And subsequently, we will also I will also highlight on the port facilities, what is needed for the shipping, and what are the present state of ports of Bangladesh, and what are the future project is going on, and when these projects will be materialized, and what are the capacities of this project. Once these projects are materialized, what impact it will have on the total maritime trade and also on the economy of Bangladesh, not only on the economy of Bangladesh, on the economy of a total sub-region of this area. First of all, the fundamental understanding of this particular topic is that the more we earn abroad, the better we live at home. That is the essence of ocean shipping. While we are at home, how to earn billions of dollars from abroad? And the answer is the shipping and liners businesses. It is like an ocean of opportunity. What is calling us from the maritime frontier of Bangladesh and also from the world maritime trade and commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, what we see at present, our global trend Bangladesh's maritime trend, as you can see on the screen, maritime total trade volume. Since 2014, it was 74.7 billion US dollar. And over the period of time by 2021, it has grown up to 116.23 billion US dollar. This is the maritime trade of Bangladesh. It includes both import and export. Presently, the total volume of stand on the import and export by the seaports is 116 billion. And this cargo, this volume is carried by the 400 plus ships visiting our ports. Now, as you can see on the screen, since 2017, our cargo and container handling and also ship handling statistics on the screen. In 2017, the maritime container handling statistics in million TEUs was 2.67, and 2021 it has increased to 3.2 million TEUs. And in terms of cargo, it is in 2017, you can see on the screen, 857.47, and 2021, it is it is 116.6 million metric tons. Just one decimal is probably here and there. It is 85 to 116. The growth is increasing. The in ship handling number was 3,370. Now we are handling around 4,209 vessel. The increase in container cargo handling in 2021 is 13%, and general cargo is 12.9%, and the ship handling was 13%. In an average, in all sector, our growth was 13%. So the growth is enormous, and this growth, to handle this growth, we need to increase our capacity. And in the next slide, you can see the growth rate, how it is increasing. It is 11% growth in the last 5 years. So you can see what is the growth rate of our general cargo. Then in terms of container, you can see the growth. It is also continuously, it is growing in an average 7% growth in the last 5 years. But in the last 2 years, it is increasing at the rate of 13%, though we had little setback during the onset of the COVID. As you know, that during the onset, everywhere, all over the world, the ports are almost shut down. And interestingly, the Chittagong port has the growth during those in the COVID period also. Though on the onset there was a little setback, our port was slowed down, but subsequently we picked up, and our growth in the last year, the growth was 13% average growth. So even during the pandemic, we have seen the growth in our port. So, but thing is that to handle this growth, and the shipping sector, you can see also that the growth, then the Bangladesh flag carrier, to handle this growth, we need to have number of Bangladesh flagships, both it is in terms of national flag carrier, in terms of public sector, and also in the private sector. The number of vessel is very, very limited to carry our own cargo. You know, our total number of vessel we have at present 80 in number. During the COVID period in 2020, the number in 2019 the number was 48, and during this COVID period, in fact, the COVID was in one term, it was a blessing for us. You know, our maritime sector has grown, you know, from 48 vessels to it increased to 80 vessels during this period, because due to the shortage of maritime transport, that is the ships, the charterer could not hire much more vessel, and during this period, the freight has increased to manyfold. For example, that freight which was 2,500 to 3,000 US dollar, it has increased to 16 to 17,000 US dollar per TEUs. So you can understand what is the condition of freight in for maritime transportation, and the initial period where the MLOs, the feeder vessel operator, they had setback, they were suffering, but just after a few days they have picked up. Now the business in the maritime sector, that is shipping sector, is booming in terms of freight. So Bangladesh ship owner also not lacking behind, so they took this opportunity, and during the last 2 years they have grown the fleet up to 80 ships. But even though this is a very negligible, because it can take them share of only 6 to 7% in the total demand. You see, in last years, Bangladesh has handled 116 million metric tons of 16 million metric tons of cargo. Sorry, 116 million metric tons of cargo, including our container and other things. So to carry this number of container, there's 3.2 million TEUs of container. How many ships we need? But we cannot handle all together. As you know, we have the flag protection regulation. Even though the flag protection regulation, we cannot go for 100% share. As per the UNCTAD, the International Code of Conduct for the liner service, the ratio is 40, 40, and 20. That is 40% by the importing countries, 40% by the exporting countries, and rest 20% by the rest of the world. In that case, what we can see, we have, as we are the importing countries and also we are the exporter in terms of RMGs and other things. So we can have at least 40, 80%, but it is not, we don't go for that. If we can take the share that is share of 50% even, then it is enormous. It will have a significant contribution on our economy, because we will be able to earn big amount of money. Last year, our trade volume was 119 billion US dollar. So if the maritime trade, that is the import and export, is 119 billion US dollar, if we expect that the freight will be just 10% of the import export volume, that is on the FOB price, that we can earn at least 19 billion US dollar. It is not by the Bangladeshi flag carrier, it is by the whole maritime shippers. They can go for this 100, and that is the 19 billion. It is the minimum one what I am telling, but during the COVID and then subsequently the freight will be much higher and higher. So what we can do, the thing is that the shipping has got enormous prospect in terms of freight and other things, but only freight is not the business. You know, it is the other things which is coming along with the freight. This shipping is not only bringing fortune for itself, but it is bringing more fortune for the other stakeholders of maritime community. For example, a ship is coming, MLO is coming, MLOs are, when ships are coming in the port, for example, in the Chittagong port, the first 4 days is free time for the container. And from the next week onward, after 4 days, the detention charge of the least one is $10 per TEUs per day. And for the first week, then the next week it increases, and the subsequent it also increases, and it goes up to $50 US per TEUs, and it is increasing flat, and then it is flat, the $50 US per TEUs. So last year, we have handled 3.214 million TEUs of container. If a particular importer, if he pays $1,000 US for a particular container, he thinks that it is very cheap. It is not a very big deal for him. because the container is lying inside the port for a long time. It is sometimes it is due to unawareness, sometimes it is deliberate, sometimes it is due to negligence of the importer, exporter, or maybe by the any other user. The thing is that you see that if it is $1,000 is on a particular container, if it is they are paying, and this money is being realized by the shipping agent and forwarding it to their principal as detention charge with the total package. So what we can see here, that if 3.2 million TEUs is handling every year, if you multiply it with 1,000 $, it comes $3.2 billion. So it means our importer and exporter is paying at least $3.2 billion as detention charge, and it is going out of the country in the legal channel. And the next, it is coming the ships. The ships are coming in the Chittagong port or any other port. If it is staying more than a particular time, it has to, and the fixed operating cost of each of the vessel is, depending on the type and size of the vessel, is around $15,000 to $20,000 per day. So if it is a FOC is a $15,000 to $20,000 per $15,000 to $20,000 per day. If we take it the least one, the $15,000 per day, then last year we have handled how many vessels? Last year we have handled 4,209 vessels. And if we multiply 4,219 vessels into the least one, the $15,000 into 365 days, how much it is coming, you can understand. It is $1 billion. So we are just losing tons of US$ for nothing. To just, if we can bring the vessel just right in time, quickly, and deliver the vessel in the stipulated time, then we don't have to pay this big amount of money to the foreign principals, MLOs, and to the feeder vessel operators. But we can use this thing, we can make these liabilities into asset. How? If we develop our commercial fleet, both for public and private sector. But at present, what we have 80 in number of Bangladesh flag vessel, and most of them are, it is interesting that most of this 80, out of this 80 vessel, most of the vessel are for the bulk carrier, only a few number, only 6 vessels are directly having the Bangladesh flag carrier, carrying container from Chittagong to Colombo, Chittagong to Port Kelang, Chittagong to Singapore. And other vessel not belongs to Bangladesh. Maybe the Bangladeshi operator are bringing those vessels. The thing is that this is the place where we can invest, where we can look into put our effort to increase more foreign currency, because in the shipping sector, the money we are earning, that is in terms of foreign currency. So you can see the number of vessels. What we have, only the HR group, the 6 vessel is carrying the container, and other is carrying their own imported cargo. And they are not deploying their vessel to operate other cargo, to bring cargo from the other countries or from other importer or exporter. They are deploying their vessel to carry their own cargo. And to accommodate the growth of Bangladesh, that is the 13% growth is in the maritime sector in all 3 sides, that is in terms of container, bulk and general cargo, and the ship. So we have to increase our port facilities also. You see, the shipping doesn't include only the ships, it includes all the facilities which need to be developed to support the shipping, the maritime transportation sector. The shipping in terms of, you see, Chittagong, to handle this enormous growth, Bangladesh is rightly Our Honorable Prime Minister has rightly pointed out her finger towards the maritime sector. You know, she has given due importance on this sector, and number of development project is going on in this particular sector. You know, in Chittagong port, not in the Chittagong, in Bangladesh, the new port, that is the Paira, is coming up. Then the Matarbari is coming up, and the Bay Terminal of Chittagong port is coming up, and we are almost in the final stage of finishing the construction work of Patanga Container Terminal also. Let me look at the present state of Chittagong port. Chittagong port is though it is a seaport, but it is situated on the bank of Karnataka River. It is just 11 kilometers inside the port. Though presently the port limit has increased from Mirosrai to the Maheshkali, and on the north it is up to the our river, the Halda River. So this is the total area. It is around the 75 kilometers in the length and breadth, and the big area is there. Earlier, the area was only 7.5 nautical mile deep into the sea. Now the area has increased to manifold. So in the Chittagong port, the port is a river inside the river, and it has a number of limitations. For example, Chittagong port can handle a vessel with maximum 9.5 meter draft, and length is limited up to 190 meters, and the night navigation is limited to certain length of the vessel and the draft of the vessel, with the draft of the vessel. And Chittagong port has got other limitation, like it is a tidal port. It depends, its ships entering and leaving depends on the tidal factor. That is only during high water we can bring the vessel in, and we can depart the vessel from the port. And with this limitation, the vessel in Chittagong port can come maximum with 2,400 TEUs. But if we develop with this limitation, we are handling 3.2 million TEUs of container and 119 million metric tons of cargo every year. And our growth is 13% in an average last year. Now, to handle this growth, we have number of expansion plan. One is Patanga Container Terminal, which is coming to in force at the end of June this year. And we are expecting that maybe in the first week of July, we'll be bringing the first vessel in, and we'll inaugurate the terminal accordingly. If the capacity of this Patanga Container Terminal will be 0.5 million TEUs yearly, and the vessel will be able to berth there with 190 meter and 9.5 meter draft. And there will be berth for 3 vessels, and for the 3 bulk or container vessel will be able to berth there. And subsequently, we will have another facilities we have there. There is another berth, the dolphin oil jetty will be there. Then that vessel will be able to provide facilities for the liquid cargoes. And once this terminal is completed, it will add another 0.5 million to our inventory. And subsequently, we are also developing the Bay Terminal. This is our next port, that is the Bay Terminal. Once the Bay Terminal is in place, we are expecting this terminal will be in place by 2025 financial year. At least 1 or 2 terminal jetties will be there for handling the cargo. And this terminal has got, the Bay Terminal has got 3 separate terminals at this moment. In fact, we are planning to have 5 terminals over there. First, with the present, as per the present decision, we will have 3. One will be constructed and funded by the Chittagong Port Authority, and will be operated and maintained by Chittagong Port Authority. There is a multi-purpose one. We'll have a number of facilities, and another 2 will be by 2 renowned global operator. Already government has decided on this particular 2, and they are also carrying out their study on that. The main feasibility study we have conducted in 2000 17. Now we have already signed the contract recently for detailed drawing and design, engineering design of the multipurpose terminal and the total master plan of the bay terminal. In the initial feasibility study report, we had the master plan of the total bay terminal. Now we are just refining that one. We are expecting that the report will be submitted within next 3 to 4 months, and we will be able to start constructing this terminal by the end of maybe in the next year, February or March, we'll be able to go for bidding and award the contract to the EPC contractor. And with the once this terminal is in place, it will have the capacity of 5 million TEUs on the initial stage. Then the expansion, it will increase subsequently. And the terminal has got a number of advantages over the Chittagong port, current location of Chittagong port. This terminal will have the capacity of berthing vessel up to more than 285 meter, and draft would be from 10 to 12 meter. And with this length and draft, the vessel will be coming, which will have the capacity around 5,000 TEUs. So it can, and there will be no limitation in terms of tide and also in terms of night navigation. There we can operate 24/7. So that is the most important thing. And the vessel, there will be no waiting time for the vessel, and vessel will be coming, and on arrival they will enter inside the berth. So it will have a definite impact on the freight. That is, it will reduce the freight by half. It is 50% freight will be reduced once the vessel will be coming in this port. So now the thing is that we are developing the Matarbari deep sea terminal. So now one can ask why, if the bay terminal is there, Chittagong port is there, what is the requirement of Matarbari? And if there is a Matarbari, what is the requirement of bay terminal and the Chittagong port? One thing we have to very, very clear is that the Matarbari will be a transshipment hub for this sub-region. It will, and the role of Chittagong port will remain intact, role of Mongla port will remain intact. But the in the Matarbari, if I tell you that, give you the details, then it will be very, very clear. One thing is that in Matarbari, we are expecting that terminal will be in operation by 2026. It is our, as per our plan, but might take, if everything goes wrong, it will be like this. But if there is some shifting for some reason, it might increase to 1 year or something like that. But in the first phase, it will be on 2026, and then in the second phase we will have also some other plan. So if the vessel will be able to berth in this particular area, it is 300 meter length, and the draft will be around 16 to 18 meter of draft, and this size of vessel will be able to bring the container. It is more than 10,000 TEUs. So if it is more than 10,000 TEUs and the day night 24 hours service is there, no waiting time, and the vessel will be entering here. And once this vessel boat will be, as the transshipment, the vessel will be giving direct service to our users, to Europe, America, Middle East, in the Far East, in everywhere, would be able to bring the mother vessel here so that it can go for a direct service. So now thing is that it will have, it will reduce the freight significantly. That is, it will reduce the freight to 1/3. For example, if a presently ship is coming and if the freight for a particular container from Singapore to Chittagong is, for example, it is $2,000. It is, for example, if it is $2,000, in bay terminal it will be around $1,000. In Matarbari, the freight will reduce to around 1/3. It is around $700 to $800, around $650 to $700 it will be. So if it is, if we convert this ports, especially the Matarbari, into a sub-regional hub, then this vessel will be able to provide service to the. You can see the number of ports in the Bay of Bengal. that is Chittagong port can itself, Bangladesh can itself make it as a sub-regional, as it is as a hub. You know, from Matar Barit, the ships will be container will be transported to Chittagong, container will be transported to Monglam, transported to Para. And also we can provide service to the Kolkata, Haldia, Visakhapatnam. There are other ports which is in the east coast of India and also in the Myanmar, Akia, Yangon, and in the Thai coast and Thai west coast, that is the Ranong port, the Phuket port, and also Andaman Nicobar. We can provide service to this particular area. And as long as the freight is the dominant factor here, the business people would always love to use the place where that they get the financial benefit. That is if the freight is cheaper, obviously they will be visiting that place. And interestingly, and our advantage is that the port in this area, the Matarbari will be having the highest draft. That will be our advantage. So by this time, we have also started direct service to the European countries, to the Middle East, or also to the Far East. I recollect the memories of when our moderator, Rear Admiral Anwar sir, was chairman of Chittagong Port, and I had the opportunity to serve with him as a member, Harbour and Marine. We started direct service to Shanghai with the Marks line, but we could not make it sustainable. After 6 months, they have stopped the service due to their certain reason. We subsequently found out what was the reason, but we could not make it sustainable. But this time we have worked out what was the limitation of that particular venture. Now we have started direct service with the Shanghai, with the Hong Kong, with the Middle Eastern countries. The Middle East countries that with the Port Khalifa, it is coming in very shortly, maybe in the 20th of this month, the first vessel will be going. And we have started with the first one was with the Italy, and it was and second one with the Liverpool, then Rotterdam, then Barcelona. It is already the service is going on, and also we have in the pipeline the Portugal and the Denmark. You know, in earlier days, the Portuguese came in this country as a pirate, but this time they would be coming here as they came here to invade, basically, to establish colony on this particular land. But now they will be coming to do the business and to be the part of our development partner. And once we establish the communication between Portugal and the Chittagong port, shortly it will be in place, and Denmark also. Denmark is far away. So we are specifically pointing on the Rotterdam, giving more emphasis on the Rotterdam, because the Rotterdam port is being used by all the EU countries. So if we can make it sustainable there, then it will have a very good impact on the European market. As you know, our EU is the biggest importer of Bangladesh RMG goods, and the next is the USA. So if we can give direct service to the EU countries, then the freight would significantly reduce, and the time will be reduced to only 16 days. It is going in Italy, it is going to 16 or 17 days, maybe another 1 day it will be increased. Maybe in 17 to 18 days, it will go to the Rotterdam, and from there it can go to all the European countries, because the Rotterdam is one of the hub in this area. So,
Admiral Shahjahan, can I just interfere? I think we have slightly overshooting. Can you just finish it, wrap up in 2 minutes, please? Thank you.
So now let me go directly on to the challenges. What we have, the limited flag carrier vessel, what we have in this particular the flag carrier, shortage of flag carrier vessel, which can have direct impact on our economy. That is that we can earn more foreign currency in terms of freight and other things. Then we have inadequate shipbuilding facilities in the country, which can significantly impact on our economy. That insufficient container dry ports of Bangladesh. That I wanted to discuss about the dry port, that is ICDs also in the country. The ICD presently we do not have any ICDs for the reefer container and also for the vehicles. So in these two sectors, we can we can look into the matter. And the berthing facility, what we have in the Chittagong port presently, and Chittagong, Mongla, and other ports of Bangladesh, those are having a limited capacity. We can increase the increasing of those capacities, and also one of the challenge, because we have to materialize number of projects. And the port delivery system, the presently Chittagong Port Authority, Chittagong Port is the only port in the world where the FCL and LCL container is being unstuffed and delivered to the users. So we have to remove this thing from the port premises, and the lack of dedicated container terminal. Presently, what we have in the Chittagong port, that is, we are using for all sort of cargo. But the bay terminal and the Matarbari will solve this problem. Then the yard space what we have presently, it is limited. That though we are increasing regularly. Earlier the capacity was 30,000 TEUs capacity, and presently we increase it to 53,518 TEUs of container. Then these are the basically our present limitation and the challenges what we have in the maritime sector. We can virtually we can go for the internal connectivity, and also important thing is I forgot to mention here is that the new opportunity is coming. What is if we make this Matarbari as our transshipment hub, that we are going to introduce another service in Bangladesh. That is a feeder service. Presently, what we are doing it from Colombo, Chittagong, Colombo or Singapore Port Kelang, that will be from Matarbari to the other ports. So this feeder service is coming up, that our business community has to prepare themselves from now. The vessel has to come from Matarbari to Chittagong, Matarbari to Mongla, Matarbari to Paira, Matarbari to Kolkata, Haldia, Matarbari to Myanmar coast, Matarbari to Thai coast and Indian coast. All this sector is coming up. When in 2026, we need this sort of service. So we have to prepare from right now onward. So the number of the prospect is, I need not to mention all the prospect of shipping from the my last few minutes deliberation. You can understand what is the prospect of shipping in Bangladesh. And let me finish it here, as I am overshooting. Maybe we'll be discussing other things in the question and answer session. Thank you very much, the moderator. Thank you very much, Chair. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much, Admiral. I think you have covered a huge territory, and I will try to bring those important points in the summing up, especially. Just one point I just would like to keep reminding everybody that such a beautiful presentation and such a good reminder for the business community and the government officials also who are involved in the sector. I think time has come to take this kind of seminars and discussions right to the hub of the business houses of Chamber, BGMEA, BKMEA, and government officials, and make them aware of these opportunities that is coming, and that we are missing and is coming. So without further ado, now may I request Commodore Jalaluddin, Director General of Department of Shipping, for his comments for 5 minutes. Commodore Jalal, if you are there, please go ahead. And thank you very much, Admiral Shahjan, once again.
Thank you, Learned Chair. I was in passive mode, was listening to you, and good morning, sir. Thank you, respected and the Learned Chair. At the outset, allow me to prostrate the omnipotent, the sustainer of this universe, for blessing us together. I wish to humbly thank BIMRAD and his patron for inviting and allowing us to talk in this august forum. BIMRAD is our national maritime intellectual think tank, and this is a maiden of this kind. So I think BIMRAD will lead us to the correct perspective in terms of geostrategic and maritime domain of Bangladesh. Department of Shipping is the government maritime regulatory body empowered by 2 acts to ensure the safety the compliance, the competence, the test, the examination, the certifications, the prosecutions, and connect with the international community of the maritime community of the world. Sir, our potential in the maritime shipping is as vast as Bay of Bengal, but we need to fathom the problem, the prospect, the potentials, and scale our future courses. So in the era of post-COVID situation, I used to consider whether it is a butterfly effect or cascading effect or snowball effect. I knew it's a cascading effect after the particularly before the trade war between the India and China and the USA, and also the post-COVID, the sanction on Iran, the sanction on Venezuela, and thereafter the green ship stuck up in the Suez Canal, and thereafter the Russia-Ukraine war. This has set a new normal. The prices of the ships chartering has got the zombie price, and this is not likely to be the normal in next 1 year, because you know, the shipping trends depends on the Chinese New Year and the Christmas, and most of the cargoes are now lying in the west coast of the USA and the European ports. So this is a very good time to determine this topic and talk on this. I'll be very short and very precise. First of all, because my term is very, very stipulated. So I will share my screen. First of all, I have to thank the Honorable Chairman, Chittagong Port Authority, for giving an insight, but I will focus on the present trend and what are the challenges and what are the way forward. Screen share.
Yeah, Commander Jalal, out of 5 minutes, you have already taken 3. So you are left with only another 2, maybe another 1.
Sir, if you do not allow, then probably it will be only a cliche. Allow me for the benefit of the maritime sector for Bangladesh. Is it shared?
Yeah, 5 minutes maximum. And the rest of the speakers, I will request not to give any preload.
Okay, sir, let me give one correction that Bangladesh have now 85 ocean-going vessels, and our GAT is 23,60,858 tons. So 6 of them only the containers, 66 is the bulk carrier, and 10 of them are the tankers. So, and our private ships, Admiral said that these are 10 years old vessels. So you can see that national flag wing vessels, of course, when I joined, it was only 63. Now we have 85 vessels, but most of them, as said, our the bulk carrier. So historically, our shipping lines has a rise and fall. Now we have a fantastic big companies coming up with big number of ships. They have ships more than scores, but many of the shipping lines, they had a meteoric rise and the sudden falls because we could not cope up with the. How is the next one? Okay. So these are the, and what are the challenges? Actually, our challenges is the modern day as the net zero emission is the most important factor. So if we cannot cope up and meet the challenges, probably we'll falter again. So we have to take the challenges of the market-based measures. You know that the emission trading scheme, US 55 packages, emission trading schemes, and also the carbon trading. Both these are by EU and also by the IMO. So you know that one is a carbon trading, one is a levy. So somebody says $75 per ton per emission. Somebody proposes about 10 tons, $10 per tons. So International Maritime Research Board, they are trying to collect $5 billion US. I think per ton of the fuel emissions. So we need to really consider this, that for the net emission zero, we need to prepare our fleets. And you know the IMO pledge as per the COP21 summit that we had a short-term, mid-term, and the long-term. Short-term was 20 up to 23. Mid-term was reduce the carbon emission by 40% up to 2030 and 50% by 2050. We need to really reckon this one. and what are the solutions there. Our solutions would be, I can see in terms of the logistic and digitizations, hydrodynamics, and the percentage is shown in the bottom, in the machinery and the fuel and the energy scopes. So we need to really be careful and be attentive about the newer technologies like air lubrication, the photovoltaic panel, also the the kite system, the autonomous hydrodynamics, oblique ammonia power generation, exhaust heat extraction. These are the things coming up, and you know the modern autonomous ship is coming in 2023 by the next year. So it is not only the ship that they had to go for the net emission zero, the port has to also do it. So the honorable chairman said about our expansion plan. We need to really cater also the alternative fuel, the reduction of the waiting time of the vessel, because most of the pollution done during the maneuvers and the entering harbor. We need to provide shore powers, electrification, refrigeration. I think this point will be considered when we make our new ports, and so that we become a smart port altogether. Then we have a smart and maritime autonomous and surface ship is coming up. So we need to really train our active seafarers in managing those. There will be 8 million new jobs coming up in the maritime sector. We need to really prepare our seafarers in managing those ships and the vessels. So what is our recommendation? Already Bangladesh government has correctly identified economy of the scale, the deep sea port, our all terminals and the new ports. These are coming up. Bangladesh ocean-going ship owners are requested to buy and acquire more ships on the LNG and LPG and also on the container vessel, because container vessel they carry 95% of the total sea weight carries by the container vessel. So out of 1,000 ships plying in the 1 lakh ship plying, the container vessels are the most of the numbers. So we really need to increase our container vessels. Also, I want to say that as Bangladesh maritime seafarers are very experienced, they do at the apex level of job. So we must have a shipping management company, the softer part of it, as well as we must need to have the chartering companies. These are the sector where our soft skill-based job. If this is the things, this will add on to our economy and also make our maritime shipping a very sustainable one. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DG Shipping, Commodore Jalal. It was right to the point, and you're finishing what you said. Actually, that is what is required. But again, I must say that it is the government officials who are now involved in this kind of research, like you and Edmund Shahjahan and a few others, inshallah, will be coming. Now we have to take this knowledge to the business community. That is probably is the most important aspects. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going for our second commentator. He is Mr. Mehrul Karim. He is the Chief Executive Officer of SR Shipping Limited, and he will be speaking on behalf of Chittagong Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Mehrul Karim, the floor is yours for 5 minutes, please. Thank you.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম, মেহরুল সাহেব শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
জি, আমি এখন শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ফাইন। জালাল, can you please log out?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম, আমি মেহরুল করিম, আমি চিটাগং চেম্বার্স এর বিহাফে কথা বলছি। অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমার এখানে আমাদের ডাইরেক্টর মিস্টার শাহরিয়ার was supposed to tell, since he had an urgent issue, so I have to take over the year. So in short, what I'd like to say that because we are actually on the chambers under Chittagong Chambers, KSRM is one of the member.
And under KSRM Group, we are basically at the moment we are owning maximum number of Bangladesh flag vessels, the 23 ships, which all are bulk carriers, dive bulk carriers. So in what I would like to say that the prospect is enormous. We have to have, still we have a huge demand in our national cargo, I mean in national level. That means the cargo in our own nations, we are bringing and taking out. We cannot, we do not have enough ship to meet that one. So that is still a big opening there. Then we can think about the international market trading. That is another one. So I would say that the prospect is enormous. Then the challenges. If you talk about the challenges, these challenges are basically two types. One is variable, which will with the market driven these challenges. Like at the moment, we are having this the variable challenge, like the bunker price, the fuel price has gone very high. Every day now in our in an average, we are paying daily $1,500 extra only for the bunker per day. Then next one is coming, this variable is the unstable dollar rate. When we buy the ship, we take the loan on deferred payment, and we have checked few of our ships due to this dollar change of dollar rate. It is more than 100 crore, only this extra money. So this is a challenges variable, but this is the one we have to live on. And next one is at this moment, the challenge is the price of the vessels is very high. Now talk about the challenges, which is actually we have to face all the time. So these challenges are, one of them is the policy. Bangladesh shipping sectors in private and public, we must have a proper and sustainable policy. The policy is number one, flag protection. I think our chairman, our secretary, Admiral Batan Bhai will speak on that. The next one is tax. When we bring the freight, we have to pay 3% tax. That is the minimum tax, and this tax is non-refundable. And this non-refundable tax, at the end of the year, when we calculate the tax, final tax, then anything additional on top of 3% we have to pay, but less than 3% we do not get any refund. So this is the NBR policy. And next one is in we can have the ship, but this is the beginning of the journey. It's not the end of the journey. So we have to maintain the ship. And for Bangladesh flag, we talk this Chittagong port, Mongla port as our home port. So in the home port, we must be feeling that it is our home. And as such, we would like to do maximum maintenance works, etc. in Chittagong only. Unfortunately, at the moment in Chittagong, the dry dock we have cannot take our ships. Number two, we do not have a single repair berth, dedicated repair berth at Chittagong port, where we can do some repairs. For example, if you do a repair in the forward part of the vessel is swinging, so somebody making staging, he cannot do the repair. He can only stay there for 2 hours. When the vessel is swinging, he has to come up because the anchor cable will be chafing with the staging, and this work cannot be done. So these are the few things we have to consider. And then another one, the bunker facility in Chittagong is not adequate. There is some system is there, but this one is they do not sell to every private ship, or they have some policies. So that is some thing we need to address, and we are working on this, and we can clear that one. And then next one is, as the number of ships is increasing, our anchorage area is not increasing. So we have to, Chittagong police have taken some policy on this, decision on this, but this is not enough. In coming days, we have to increase this anchorage area so that the vessel waiting in the Kutubdia can come up. And there is some system going on as far as safety is concerned. The Chittagong port has already adopted some policies, but it needs to be revised and it has to be enhanced further to meet the next demands. Then another one, very important. One thing we have to remember, Bangladesh flag vessels, our business is one way. We bring the cargo. For example, bulk carrier. We only have inward cargo. We do not have an outward cargo. So this is another thing. I don't know, in few years time, we may have something which we can export and we can carry. Otherwise, this is another challenge we have to take into consideration when we buy a ship. And another one is like in the COVID time, the freight was $2,500, whereas our FOC was $8,000. So this sustainability or the cash support we must have to meet this rainy season. And for this, as I told, the buying a ship is not the end, it's the beginning of the journey. So any owner or in ship, they are planning to buy, this thing we have to keep in mind is a challenge to meet the FOC, whether the vessel is anchorage or there we have to pay what is called spend or prepare to what is called meet the $7,000 to $8,000 per day FOC fees, which includes the crew salary, normal lighting, etc. And one thing I just request to the what is called Chittagong Port Chairman, sir, that in Greece and also in Denmark, the home port, that means for us when we come in Greece and all their flag vessels, they don't have to pay any port, what is called a light dues, etc., because they are the home port. And I don't know this time and next time when we meet you, we can share this one. So that is one of the encouragement you can give to the Bangladesh flag vessels, because it is not much. You know how many ships, 4,000 over ships come, and we are only 80. And next one is, it is a combined effort we all have to take, that is the image. At the moment, when we talk about ship, our grading is considered as per the PSC reading, Port State Control Rating, and into consideration. In European, Paris MU, our PSC rating is low. And our DG sir, we all know about this, and DG sir, they have been working on this, and this is the area we have to work the rating, so that image is good and people feel comfortable to give cargo into our ship. At the end, I would like to say thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. You have hit the ball at the right time with the precisely thing that we wanted to hear. And all this, ladies and gentlemen, all these important points will definitely come out as the seminar outcome. But in summary, what Mr. Merul Karim has said, that we must feel proud of our own vessels. We must sponsor them. We must finance them. And we must allow this industry, shipping industry is a complex industry. We must allow this industry to grow, because this industry can give us much more dividend than any other industry that we are sponsoring. Thank you very much once again, sir. We are now going to listen to our big man, Admiral Batan sir, who is an expert on this subject. Admiral Batan sir, I'm sure you are there. And when you have 5 minutes to make your comments straight to the point, and I think Mr. Merul Karim has referred many items to you, so we are waiting to listen to you, sir. Admiral Batan, sir.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Sir, you are loud and clear, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Once again, Assalamu alaikum. What happened?
Sir, you can go ahead. We can hear you, sir.
Loud and clear, sir.
Sir, you are muted, sir. Can you please unmute yourself?
Excuse me, I'll just ease the transmission. In the Gulshan area today, there is no proper internet, so I have been connected through my mobile hotspot. I'm not sure how much time I can speak out of 5 minutes. Once again, thank you very, very much on this day to the authority of BIMRAD, in particular, and Captain Minard, the Director General Shipping, for inviting me or allowing me to speak. I will just be short. And first of all, I would like to thank both the chair and the keynote speaker, Admiral. Both of them are actually, one is incumbent chairman of the Chittagong Port, and another is the ex-chairman. So it is always interesting to hear from these two persons in particular. So the concept note actually was forwarded to me by the DG BIMRAD. I was a bit skeptical because of my little bit of medical problems. I thought it may not be present. However, Alhamdulillah, I am here. And the concept note actually said about three things: goals, blue economy, and interest of Bangladesh flag. So I personally am engaged with some issues of Bangladesh flag carriers, and as you know that we talk mostly on SDG goals and blue economy part as expert of this field, and I personally do not hear much about the blue economy plans, what's actually going on. We'd like to hear it because someone should be already in the implementation level. And another point which just came to my mind, that eighth five-year plan is, you see, that has been approved by the government, present government, and we don't say much actually in the paragraphs of the eighth five-year plan about the interest, about the public-private partnership on the field of blue economy, particularly in the maritime sector. Some of the data found there also, to me, I may be wrong, not very much correct. Both the current DG and the ex-DG also, Komodo Arif is there. And however, this morning I'll be talking about the chairman Chittagong Port mentioned two very important points which I wanted to talk, because he's mentioned about we have limited facilities and number of ships not much, because of, if we consider the total requirement of the shipping sector, I mean the flag carriers or the carriers, the freight carriers. And as you know, to actually focus on the interests of the flag, Bangladesh government formulated the first ordinance in 1982, that is the flagship protection ordinance. Almost 3.5 decades, these were just there on the table. Hardly people could take the benefit out of those. And after long debates, the new law has been again done, that is the Bangladesh Flag Vessel Protection Act 2019. Already 2.5 years passed, but still we are not actually we are not able to utilize it properly because the rules are still in the offing. And you know, the bureaucracy changes so much in the concerned ministry that something is decided, then we give the feedback, maybe DG shipping recommends the things come up differently or still not coming up properly. And just if we just consider the cases, similar cases in our neighboring country, India, I have the papers, signatures with signatures of the concerned secretary. that the amount of effort they have taken to actually safeguard the interest of the Indian flag carriers enormous. Although their public sector is also suffering, doesn't matter because flag means both public and private sector, and they introduced the right of first refusal and how it should be promulgated. And ships built within the country or chartered by Indian nationals, they give special priority. They do consider, and we only keep fighting, and hardly we try to give the total benefit in favor of the business person who actually engage themselves. As a matter of fact, since I will be talking some of the views of the owners, because the chairman of the association, this association is actually 33 years old. It's not very new association. Interestingly, both public and private ship owners, they belong to this association under the, I mean, the memorandum of association and articles of association by the joint stock company and approved by the commerce ministry. And
Sir,
the
Admiral Watan, sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. I think we have got another 4-5 speakers left. So if you can come straight to the
okay,
point, please.
I think it's
Straight to the point,
that's
please.
why you know, DG shipping took our major time. However, how much time you give me, because I have some key points. So
Sir,
it
you
is
have already
difficult
taken
to.
4 minutes, sir. You got another 3-4 minutes, sir, maximum.
Okay, thank you very much. So ship owners generally provide COD vessels to charterers in 4 different markets around the globe. Just I repeat, 4 different markets. Number one is new building market, and you know, above 10,000 tons, deadweight tons, we can't build ships at our own. This is a market of say about 125 billion US dollar, and where only 3 countries of this Asia Pacific region are taking the 92%. So we have, if we could actually give 1%, I mean, commitment, we could have earned a lot. This is number one market. Then is the freight market where we are there. 92% ships belong to the private sector, only 8% the public sector. Although I think the DG of Bangladesh Shipping Corporation is there. The previous DG used to attend the meeting. I do not know why they do not come to cause the synergy effect more prominent, because to fight for the cause of the national flags. Then another market is the sales and purchase market, where the owners can always go for sale and purchase. And interestingly, the rule is we cannot sell a ship before the ship is 5 years old. Now that has been reduced to 3 years. Still, we don't. The owners, they want to, because if there is something wrong, they want to sell it. They cannot sell it. Then there is still, they have to pay a lot of advance income tax, which they want, because somebody actually earning foreign currency, they should be given some incentives. And also freight, actually the dollars earned through the international freight market, they are also taxing 3 to 5%. That is another very interesting part. And the last market is like the demolition market, which we did not talk about it. The ship owners can always buy ships and demolish it there, because it's one of the largest demolition sector in this place. So as Chittagong Port Chairman mentioned, some of the strategic goals of this port, where port is one of the major stakeholders of this supply chain system. Out of this yesterday's incident, because as a student of the maritime governance and safety matters, I just would like to mention one thing before I finish. Given due consideration, not only paper work. We just compare some of the prospective maritime nations website. You can see how they have reflected the important things very simply and eye-catching. Singapore, for an example. And before I finish, I just want to give two statistics, which some of them may not agree. It doesn't matter whether I agree or not personally, because I'm not going to prove it. Because one is the S&P Global World Bank Group. They have mentioned that out of many container ports in the world, Chittagong port stands at 341, and where the King Abdulaziz Abdullah Port is number 1, and others are in between, like say Chennai is 79. So we can see that well, we do not have a dedicated, container port. We have only one operator in Bangladesh, only having 6 ships, and they cannot, within say 2.5 days, they cannot discharge or unload 150, say 1,600 TUs, 1,600 20 feet containers. This is a very sorry figure. However, I hope the Chittagong port is doing extremely very good job, and they would take things positively and find areas where people can give feedback. You know, if you follow the just Singapore website, you will see that, say, for accident matters, where the suggestions and lessons learned, that is there. But in whole country, if we want to find out a report, simple report officially also, it is very difficult to approach. But in maritime areas of, say, Japan or any other Western countries, you can see, and even 3-dimensional transports, all sorts of transport figures you can see anytime from here. So anyway, if there is time available, I can flash some of the other ideas in the. I can just join the question and answer station. Thank you so very much for your excellent arrangement and inviting me.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, time for Captain Hasnat. He is the director of Bangladesh Shipping Agents Associations. And Captain Hasnat, if you're there, please come straight to the point. And you have 5 minutes only. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, sirs. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. You are loud and clear. No problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Respected presenters, Assalamu alaikum. I'm the director of Bangladesh Shipping Association. I was hearing all this intelligent talks. Well, I'm basically a stakeholder. From stakeholders' point of view, I will say a few things. First of all, Chittagong Port's operation. I must thank President Chairman for his incredible performance, incredible his good wish to run the sport smoothly, particularly in COVID as well as now. The last gentleman told about that UNCTAD ranking 340 or something. I think Los Angeles is behind us in that ranking. It's not exactly, ranking doesn't show everything. Ranking doesn't reflect everything. The amount of limitations that we face as stakeholders, as port operators, also as chairman or port operation, this is unparalleled, nowhere. As chairman rightfully mentioned, no other port in world that they do FCL and L1 stuff in the same year. It's impossible. From evening 5 o'clock to early morning 3 o'clock, a trailer cannot move because of these trucks, importers trucks. They enter, they take delivery of cargo. All vessels operations become stuck. So these are the unique things which only Chittagong Port faces. That United Nations, that they don't see those things. They only count the numbers. Still, I think Chittagong Port is they are beating a lot of other ports in terms of throughput, and it's increasing percentage-wise. Our handling is increasing in 2 folds, 13%, as chairman told. That's great, I must say, and I support him, and I support Chittagong Port's performance. Yes, as shipping agent, we also suffer sometimes. Vessel gets delayed of berthing. We take 72 hours to discharge, but we know as a stakeholder, we know exactly what's the reason behind. And port has nothing, much. Port can't do much, and whatever they are having with limited resources, they are. I must say they are doing 200%. And that's why port's throughput is increasing. Port can handle, until now, port is handling our increased volume of cargo. And without much, I think without much delay, without any, I think with the satisfaction of all stakeholders. So thank you, Chairman, for that. And recently, Chairman has introduced me with his help. We have introduced direct service to Europe. I'm also one of the users. I've got one of my principals using. And in fact, we started first direct service to Rotterdam. and Liverpool. And we got full support of port, whether it's permission of vessels, whether it's, priority berthing, everything port has given us. And port wants that this sort of service comes, and which will only help our business, which will only help our economy. Secondly, I, as a master mariner, I have certain queries, in fact, regarding this flag protections and vessel ownership. I'm sorry, I'm not on that. I'm not owner, but with limited my knowledge, I'll be happy if own flag vessels increases, because our job, I'm now retired. I'm sort of retired, but my juniors, they will get more jobs. The opportunity will open up. That is always, we always appreciate that. But one must think, a owner of vessels, owner has to operate profitably. So here we have got port limitations plus our business, our import-export imbalance. Like for container, we import, mostly our import comes from China and export goes to Europe. It's not that we bring import from China with our ship and you don't have any import or export to China other than empties. So their cost is there. So we have to think of that. Same with bulk carriers. We import our bulk, 100% import, we do bulk carriers. So our we get from all around the world our goods, whether it's cement clinker, whether grain, food grain, whether stone. And we don't have any bulk export. So now present bulk operators, they are only doing their own cargo. They know that this limitations they know, so they are only using the vessel for their own cargo, which way it's okay. For them, it's okay. But for a new owner who doesn't have any business, cement clinker business or food grain business, just to start a bulk carrier, flag protection may pamper a little bit, but he has to find cargo somewhere. And thing is that vessel comes in Chittagong discharge and it goes out empty. So if he has got cargo of grain coming from Brazil, he brings his own cargo, fine. Then if the vessel has to go empty to Brazil, I think he won't be competitive. He can't stand in the business. So it's more our owners, flag protection will help the owners, but I think our owners has to be street smart. Vessel owners, they have to have international footprint. They have to compete with international players so that vessels, not only our own cargo, they also carry international cargo from not necessarily to Chittagong. They can carry cargo to Europe from Brazil or from America. They have to be competitive. Otherwise, flag protection may not help us to grow our own flag vessel. That's my personal view, very much personal view as a master mariner that I felt. And otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hassan. I think you have straight went to the point, and that was very nice. And Admiral Shahjahan, if you're still there, just keep a point in mind that we would like to hear this point that the flag vessel owners has to be smart to compete with the international players. How do you deal with it? This is the first question that I want you to address while the question answer session will start. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to Captain Ghulam Mohiuddin Qadri. He is the Vice President of Bangladesh Merchant Marine Officers Association, who will be talking on job employment and inspection regime and so on. Captain Ghulam Mohiuddin, if you are there, time is yours, 5 minutes maximum. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running short of time. I am already at least 10 minutes behind the clock. So if you can be very specific, otherwise we may not have a discussion session. Thank you, Captain Ghulam Mohiuddin.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
And a very good morning to all who are attending BIMRAD Maritime Dialogue and the organizers of the event. I am Captain G.M. Qadri, Vice President of Bangladesh Merchant Marine Officers and Senior Executive Director of Hawkins Sons Limited, the largest marine agency of Bangladesh. Thanking you very much for giving me opportunity to speak on behalf of Bangladesh Merchant Marine Officers Association. I will only highlight the challenges of seafarers here, as the time is very short. 90% of the global trade is transported by ocean shipping. At present, Bangladesh ship owners own 81 Bangladesh flag vessels. The approximate number of seafarers to run these vessels require around 3,600 seafarers, considering onboard seafarers and their relievers. The number of Bangladesh flag vessels will be about 200 in the next 2-3 years, and with the present trend, the requirement of seafarers will be at least doubled in the next 2-3 years. Only Hawkinsons employ 1,600 seafarers for foreign renowned ship owners worldwide. This is not in the Bangladesh flag vessels, only foreign vessels. Another 1,600 seafarers required to relieve them. We do not have enough seafarers to man all the Bangladeshi flag vessels and supply seafarers as per the requirement of foreign ship owners. It takes more than 10 years for an apprentice to go to the highest rank in his profession. There are only 16,000 registered seafarers at Bangladesh, 11,000 officers, and 500 ratings. As per our statistics, only 800 officers, 8,000 officers, and 400 ratings are active. The demand for Bangladeshi officers increased as many seafaring nations are still under COVID pandemic, and Ukraine and Russian seafarers are having difficulty joining and disembarking from vessels due to the war. Seafarers are highly paid professionals. Each junior officer now earns $2,500 to $4,500 per month. A master and chief engineer get $8,500 to $15,000 per month as per the type of the vessel. Maximum part of their salaries are sent to their home country by remittance in the US dollar, amounting $400 to $500 million remittance from the wages of the seafarers. To encourage the young generation to join the profession, the government should take up the visa issue with many countries. Our seafarers cannot join vessel in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Kuwait, etc., as no visa is issued to seafarers to join ship. Once upon a time, BD seafarers could join vessel without visa. We know our Department of Shipping, under the guidance of Director General, is trying hard to get the recognition of BD professional certificates. Still, UK, Malta, and Bermuda do not recognize certificates issued by our country. I would request our Director General, Department of Shipping, on behalf of the mariners, to increase the frequency of professional exams and publish the result in shorter time. We do not want substandard officers, but we want the officers to go for more chances to clear their examinations. Now we are finding it difficult to relieve the onboard seafarers, and owners are opting for the nationals opting for other nationals to man their ships. One more burning issue is the desertion of Bangladeshi ratings. These are not officers, normally the ratings. They desert in foreign ports like USA, Canada, and Australia. Action to be taken against them as per the Merchant Shipping Act without any delay. Delaying justice will encourage the other ratings to the same offense. Thanking you again on behalf of Bangladeshi seafarers for hearing our difficulties. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain Ghulam Mohiuddin. I think you have hit the very right point, particularly 3 points of this visa issue, then BG shipping professional exam issue, which is the ever burning issue, never been solved, and hopefully will never be solved. I don't know. And the desertion of rating issue is something very serious. And also you have brought out a very fantastic statistics, which hardly people are aware of, that we have 11,000 officers, out of which 8,000 officers are active and only 500 ratings. And we are building one after another Merchant Marine Academy, but the money can be, there's a huge opportunity of creating the manpower of rating, and like what Philippines has done, and we can earn billions, and we don't have enough manpower to man our own ships. That's a sad story. I think this should be a very important point that we can carry forward in our final paper outcome that we will have, inshallah. Thank you very much once again, sir. Now I will invite MD BSc to speak on behalf of BSc and be specific to the point within 5 minutes, please. Thank you. Honorable Jawan.
Respected Chair, distinguished speakers and participants present on this virtual platform, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Sir, BSc was established on 5 February 1972 by the father of the nation, and in his lifetime, BSc acquired 14 ships. Now we have 8 ships, and 1 ship is already victim of Ukraine crisis. Even though we are making profit as well as BSc ships are operating globally. This is a great pride for our country. And recently our ship visited North America, Australia, and is still operating in Europe and many countries of the world. And most importantly, we are operating successfully under the international security and port state control measures. And so far, we are operating with our pride and honor and dignity. So now, I just would like to directly embark into the challenges and prospects because the time is very short. So first of all, this sector is actually a volatile sector because market is always fluctuating. So here needs special investments. But to maintain the consistency, we feel that both private and our BSc must actually work coherently together so that there is a consistency at global, in national level so that we can compete globally. Second point is that, sir, the complexity. The complexity is not only the ships, cargo, and operators itself. The complexity also lies in the international arena. So we need actually greater investment nationally, taking the global perspective in cognizance. Next one is that we feel that most of the owners and their employees, they are resistant to change. And we need actually to always come out of the comfort zone so that we can adapt to the global complexities. Another problem is that the shortage of carriers. Definitely, we have a very meager number of carriers, but as a maritime country, I think we have great prospects to develop as a maritime nation globally and expanding our seafaring knowledge globally. We have tremendous prospect of developing human capitals. Another one is we consider that cooperation and positive communications between the stakeholders need to be done frequently or regularly so that we can always remain at par and updated for interoperability and also for national initiatives. Another challenge we find that because of the BSc law 2017 and Flag Protection Vessel Act 2019, most of the shipping are actually done through the CFR or CIF, not in FOB. And because of that, the foreign ships, they are getting the advantage and thereby we are losing great number of foreign currency. Next one is the global market and risk assessment. I think we need institutional risk assessment and global marketing measures, and we can share among the stakeholders so that we can actually reap the maximum benefit of our shipping industry. And most important point is, it is last but not the least, that is the internal and external competitions. There are extensive internal external competitions, and it fluctuates so fast that if we cannot take the advantage of the timing, then probably we lose a great deal of benefits. So this is also a very great challenge. Now I'll talk about few prospects. First of all, BSc.
Munir, can you shorten it 1 minute, please?
Right, sir. I'll finish by next 1 minute, sir. We need to take the advantage of the Flag Protection Act 2019 and law of BSc, not nationally, because this law and act both supports for global investments. And I think this sector can flourish as a major foreign currency earning sector in the country by taking the advantage, so that we can actually take global investment and partnership in this sector. Next one is that we find that in our country now the requirement of natural gas is expanding very fast. Now our reserve is around 8 TCF, and in very near future it will come down further. So in LNG sector we need to invest, and we have great prospects. So this side also we can consider for our next development. And last but not the least, I think we need to invest greatly for international level ship building yards, so that we can support our shipbuilding, repair, maintenance, and also emergency docking. With this, sir, thank you very much, and thanks for your patience hearing. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Awesome. Thank you very much, MDBSC. I think you have highlighted number of points which also came up earlier, but one of the interesting point that you have brought out, I think it deserves serious attention. That is investment and promotion or partnership with BSC with the other international operators, which is probably required because a government institution normally runs with bureaucracy, and this cannot be the order of the day for a commercial venture. However, now may I request Commodore, once again MDBSC, and now may I request Commodore Arif, retired ex-DG Shipping, who is now also involved in some of the corruption-related effort of our shipping industry through an NGO and other organizations, and doing a great, fantastic job there. So I will request Commodore Arif to be precise within 4 to 5 minutes time, and he give his views. Commodore Arif.
Sir, thank you very much. I'll be very brief. Being the last speaker, I should not go into any kind of introduction. So let me straightway come into the point. So when we talk about the maritime trade, there are many things that included within the shipping business and shipping industry. First of all, the port and shipping, and CPA chairman has given a very big thoughts and a comprehensive study on the subject. I would like to say that the Chittagong Port chairman or Bangladesh is now preparing to face the challenges that are coming by 2041 as per the vision of the nation. So that is the preparation being taken by the government, and the visual effect of all these are being seen in Matarbari, the other terminals and the bay terminals and all other things are the reflection of all those preparations that Chittagong Port is making. If we talk about the shipbuilding is also increasing. Government has already allowed, given a lot of incentive for the ships being built up to 10,000. What about the ships beyond that? If we think about Bangladesh going to be a regional hub as per the vision of the government, then we need to give a lot of incentive in shipbuilding. We have to give minimum facilities for the repair of any of the merchant ships that are in requirement while operating in Bangladesh. The bunker facilities and also the kind of spare parts and all other facilities have to be increased. This point has already been specified by Mehrul Karim, and also BSc MD has highlighted on all those issues, but I will again emphasize on this preparation as well. As we know, there are only few countries in the world, those who provide bunkering. Singapore is one, probably providing about 47% of world bunkering from Singapore port.
And Bangladesh, if can take a bit of that kind the bunkering, so we can have a huge amount of trade on bunkering, and we need preparation in that aspect. The shipbuilding is a huge market, and Bangladesh also tried to cope up with the shipbuilding, and some of our industry went into export-oriented business in the shipbuilding industry. But now these industries are not doing very well, and there is a need of giving huge incentive. The cash incentives are needed, since this is a capital investment business industry. So that kind of incentive may be given to the shipbuilding industry, so that we can build up and recover the sick industries that are being not doing very well. And government may also think of public-private partnership with these industries, those who had better performance. So instead of letting them going down, so government may try to survive those shipping industries. If we talk about the ship operation, gentlemen, we all know that ship operation is involved with many different aspects: the ship chartering, the ship's operation, and also maintaining and looking after different kinds of maritime legislation. In the ship operation, ship manning is one of the very important factors. As we all know that about 1.5 million active seafarers are working around the globe. Philippines alone provides almost 40% of the global seafarers. Bangladesh, being a country with 180 million population, only provides about 2% of the global seafarers. So Bangladesh has enough to do. I personally believe that from the Department of Shipping and also from the Ministry of Shipping, there is a need of marketing of our seafarers across the globe. And that can only be done if we invite the foreign nationals to establish their academy in Bangladesh. If we have not done that, we should immediately start, so that some of the academy or some of the maritime institute can be established in Bangladesh, and this is how we can export our seafarers in a huge number. Otherwise, we will not be able to maintain the market as we desire to do so. It comes about another aspect is the ship recycling. Gentlemen, there are many aspects of ship recycling. Bangladesh is said to be #1 in the ship recycling market, and we have not complied with many of the International Maritime Organization's rules and regulations. Out of all the industries, we have only one which is complied to Hong Kong Convention. Bangladesh is in need of ratifying this convention. If we don't ratify, maybe in the ship recycling race, Bangladesh will continuously fall behind. And as you know, Bangladesh is a still hungry country. We are a developing nation. We need to give incentive to all these industries. Even if we talk about the maritime trade and business and developing the maritime sector, fishing is also another aspect which we often ignore, and we do not talk these two industries together. So in the blue economic growth, this industry also needs a lot of attention, and there is a potential, and we also need to comply with the rules and regulations. Gentlemen, I will also talk about the incident that we are still going through. After the Lebanon incident, there had been a lot of write-up in the news media where the possibilities of accidental explosion was forecasted, but the preparations by the logistic institutes are very less. The ICDs, the port facilities, and all other areas needs to take adequate safety measures so that this kind of incident do not happen. And one of this incident really gets back the country by many steps. So we don't want to see any kind of incident like that, and adequate preparations have to be taken. Safety needs to be inculcated into our culture. If we cannot do that, this kind of incident cannot be stopped. For doing good in the maritime industry, there are huge to be done. As the potentials are more, the challenges in the sectors are also not less. When we talk about the challenges, we also look at the prospects. To reap up the benefit,
Can you sum up, please?
Sir, I will sum up now. So take up the benefit, we need to comply with the rules and regulations being promulgated by international maritime organizations. The ratings where we are falling behind needs to be upgraded. Of late, International Maritime Organization has also taken up a code to encourage digitalization in the port management. So I will request the DG Shipping and also the port chairman to look into the aspect and put due attention so that Bangladesh ports can be reckoned in the forefront in the maritime industries around the globe. With this, I conclude. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you very much, Commodore Arif. I think you have also highlighted a number of important points. Ladies and gentlemen, we are supposed to finish this webinar by 11:30.
Very much. Of all, there is the question about the flag protection regulation, what facilities we can give. Presently, we have given a special quota for our national flag carrier. There is one for the bulk and another for the container vessel. It is dedicated for them, sir. Though they want some dedicated berth, but dedicated berth is not possible because the moment the Bangladeshi flag carrier will be coming in the port, the berth may not be remain empty. So that's why the available berth, what we have, we give berth to them because it is immaterial in which berth you are going. Almost all the berth we have the same facilities. Nowadays, earlier we had only 4 gantry crane. Now we have 16 gantry crane in operation in NCT 1, 2, NCT 5, and also in CCT terminals. So all the berths are equally applicable. And the government is trying to give some incentive to the national flag carrier. And also for especially the BSC ships, we provide a lot of support being the national flag carrier in the public sector. So for example, for conservancy, for water supply, for any other pilot vessel and everything, they normally we provide them credit. On credit, they are doing all these things. And most of the cases, they don't pay. We are providing the service. It is on credit. So, and then the private sector vessel also, when they are coming there, we are providing them water supply and other pilot facilities as quickly as possible. What we can provide. You see, in providing priority berthing to all the vessels, it sometimes is a little difficult because we have other vessels, those who are operating in the area in the market, having the big market share. For example, MSC, we have the Marks Line, we have ECL, CMSC, GMA, all other vessels. They are the biggest shareholder in this particular sector. So we have to look into that also. And more importantly, that our exporter and importer, they also have their own requirement to put their vessel in as per the sequence. That's why we try to maintain the queue in the in order of arrival in the Chittagong port, but to the government, to the flag carrier, we give a specific quota for them in addition to the normal sequences. So we are giving some sort of incentive to them, and we are trying to give special attention to them once our berths are more available. Recently, we will have our, in the near future, we'll have a Potanga container terminal. We'll have a lot of flexibility. In that time, we can give some more concession to the national flag carrier also. Our national flag carrier, we provide them also night navigation facilities also. Normally, we are restricted to some length, but for them, it is there, and we will be providing this support to the national flag carrier in future also. That early, if they want some time, they want to delay for sailing due to some, if they cannot load the container, export container adequately, so we give them some sort of concession in terms of sailing also. So this is possible, sir. And another one thing is that it is for the Incoterm. Presently, the Incoterm is imposed in Bangladesh. It is not fulfilling the requirement of Bangladesh economy. You know, it is not very favorable for our economy. What we have FOB for export. Just we are putting our export to the cargo to the vessel, and it is going to the buyer. And once it is in their yard, once they get it, then they say that we have got it and they are paying. Sometimes the buyers are telling you have this problem, so you give discount or we are sending back. So that's why our exporters are very much scared about their buyer. And this if and the import is CIF or CFR. You see, we are buying the things without getting the commodity. We are sending all money, including freight and other insurance and price of the goods in a single LC to the exporting countries, importing from the exporting countries. But if we can send it by FOB, it is a big amount of money because our export is much higher than the import. So big amount of money we can keep it in the country, then you can understand how much foreign currency we can save and how much interest can be realized out of this money. So at this moment, we can go for we have to increase the number of vessels before changing this Incoterm. If we have our own flag carrier, number of vessels is bigger, and we are holding them more than 50 to 60% of share of this important trade volume, then I think we can impose these particular things. Otherwise, the other people might have some reservation. So that's why this changing of this Incoterm will be conditional. First of all, we have to develop our own fleet so that we can have bargaining chips. Then now the new entrepreneurs, those will be coming.
Admiral Shajan, just one more minute, please. Admiral Shajan, just one more minute, finish it.
I am coming to the point that recently that Admiral Batan sir was mentioning about the performance of this particular year. That is the thing, that is a very important issue that came up in the recently. Chittagong Port is growing in all the sectors, and Chittagong Port growth is 13%. All over the country, there was a recession, there was a concession, that ship was waiting time was as good as 60 days. In Chittagong Port, there was no waiting time during the whole COVID period. We have ensured that ships are coming in the Chittagong Port and we are giving them berth. And 49% vessel came directly, that is without waiting in the outer anchorage. And rest of the vessel, sometimes they are depending on the tide, they came in the low water waiting for the tide, and some peppers or some ships were not ready and they had been waiting for in the outer anchorage. And most of the cases, ships waiting time was almost zero. And with providing all this support, we have given due diligence to our exporters. You know, in the World Bank report, it was not a World Bank report. It was by a World Bank group where the study was done by the S&P Global Market Intelligence and the IHS market. These two organizations has been doing this particular issue. They've highlighted the capacity you have and what you are utilizing. They have made number one port of the world is the King Abdullah Port, which one I never heard of it. So now their capacity is 25 million metric tons capacity, but in this against that they are handling only 2.9 million. 25 million TEUs, they are handling only 2.9 million TEUs. So in terms of container handling, they are not behind us. And also in other ports, so their consideration was this, and also the only 48 hours time was their main factor. But in Chittagong Port, our vessels are coming, we are giving, during the COVID period, we have given a special emphasis on our export, because our export has grown during the COVID period. So we have to address this issue, but their interest is that, so they have to say that somebody is very efficient than us, because the report, those people has made this report was not accepted by the responsibility of that study was not taken by the World Bank itself, and it has given in the very first page of the report, the World Bank does not take any responsibility of the data and the accuracy of that report. That was done by two particular companies. You see, there are some other things.
Ajahn, don't worry. We all understand this.
It is not that. So the efficiency indicator, what as per the UNCTAD is to be considered for determining the efficiency of a port, it is not considered in that way. So in that case, the Singapore cannot be the number 10 or number 11. Shanghai cannot be go down, and Long Beach is the largest port in the world and having a lot of facilities and service providing tools. They cannot be the least efficient port in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important The important thing is that what service we could provide to our users, to our exporters, to our importers, that is the thing. And our port was never closed in Chittagong during the COVID period, and the efficiency of port is being determined by its user, how the user are satisfied with the service of the port. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Admiral Sajan. I am sorry there are a lot of hands raised, but we are already overshoot by 10 minutes. We have got major engagement after this. To sum up, because I have given my time to everybody else. To sum up, the only thing I would like to say here is that most of us has talked of financial incentive and other incentives. I think time has come for all of us to start thinking and reframe our thought process that we will start fighting, we will start competing as we did compete when our quota was withdrawn in our energy sector. We have to compete, we have to produce better human resources for our future, because incentives of financial incentive, other incentives are not alone, cannot be the only thing that grows a sector. May we can definitely, of course, the regulatory help should be there always. And lastly, this our whole discussion will definitely BIMRAD will bring out a paper out of it. In soft copy also, it will be circulated to all the places, and definitely a copy of it will go to the appropriate regulatory body so that some action can be done on this issue. But the most important thing probably that the new thing that we have come up and we have learned today, for which probably we need one more session with the stakeholders of BIM and also BIMRAD, that is how to develop human capital or human resources and focus them in the right direction to man our ships, to man the foreign ships, and earn a lot of money, not only in as a mariner, but also in the other support services of maritime logistics. With these few words, thank you very much once again to all of you, particularly to Admiral Shahjahan and everybody else for your time you have spent for us, for educating us. And now I would like to request DG BIMRAD to conclude the session, please. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Respected Acting Chairman of BIMRAD, Session Chair, Lead Presenter, commentators, maritime professional and researchers, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Today, I'm really happy to be associated with organizing such an enlightening event, that is BIMRAD Maritime Dialogue. This is the very first event of this series, and we are pleased that we could arrange this with your active participation. And we hope to continue this series in future also. I must say the whole session was very much informative and enjoyable, and today's discussion represents an immensely clear scenario of the prospect and challenges of ocean shipping sector, especially for Bangladesh. I believe the prominent presenter and commentators have pronounced many facts that will be noteworthy to the relative authorities. The shipping sector of Bangladesh is gradually emerging. In order to flourish this sector, our maritime community need to be encouraged by the state. To promote the shipping business within the business community, we must identify the prospect and address the related challenges, and today's discussion was fruitful in this regard. The lead presenter, who has the expertise and long experience on the given topics, has deliberately unfolded the opportunities and challenges. We are enlightened to know many new and relevant information that has undoubtedly broadened our views on the ocean shipping industry. The commentaries from the different stakeholders and practitioners both brought many concurrent issues relevant to this field. If these issues are addressed at the apex level of the government, we can expect a significant improvement to the overall shipping sector of Bangladesh. The chair of this dialogue has amply summarized the whole discussion, so I'm not going to repeat it again. However, we had an excellent panel today covering all the major stakeholders in ocean shipping sector. We had the pleasure of having incumbent high officials from the Port Authority, Busy Shipping Office and BSC, and also many other offices who actually played major governing roles in this sector. We are delighted to have substantial representation from Bangladeshi business community who are directly involved in this sector and propelling the development of Bangladesh. We had also vibrant representation from the mariners and shipping owners community who are the driving force behind this sector. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, on behalf of Acting Chairman of BIMRAD, I would like to thank the session chair, lead presenter, commentators, and all the participants for attending this dialogue. It has been an excellent opportunity for us in BIMRAD to bring a group of experts of the shipping sector together and have a vibrant dialogue. We strongly believe that today's dialogue's perspectives would help us to formulate some vital policy recommendation to flourish this shipping sector, both nationally and globally. As the home of maritime think tank, BIMRAD intends to make a significant contribution in this field. Hope to see you again in our next endeavors. Thank you very much. Have a good day.